I always tell guys, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Get in a better room.
Got a crazy video for you today.
She's not yours, it's just your turn. A woman should be a complement to your life, not the focus.
Do the work.
Women do not care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winners. What's up, my brothers from another mother? Listen, in this video, I want to talk about anxiety. There's a lot of gentlemen that reach out to me, either by DMs or messages, or they'll even call in on the Before the Train Wreck series and ask about something that they're anxious about that's holding them back in life. And it's a really, really scary place to be when you have anxiety over something. I've had it myself many times in my life. I mean, I've talked about my scars before. I had anxiety even as a kid, you know, wanting to take my shirt off at the beach. I remember there was a few times where we'd go to a place like Wasaga Beach, you know, with my brothers and my cousins, and they'd all be running around with their shirt off, and I'd have my t-shirt on because I didn't want to expose my scars to the world. And anxiety is something that can be debilitating and really hold you back as a dude. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that and some useful tips. I'm sure there's some amazing books out there. I haven't read them, but I'm going to talk about these tips that I think that men need to adopt if they want to get away from anxious mindset. The first thing, probably the most important thing to do is stop doing anything that reinforces that social anxiety. Whatever narrative it is that you have in your head that you think should be holding you back or keeping you from, you know, greatness, you know, if I can put it that way, get rid of it. If it's a blog that you subscribe to, a subreddit, a YouTube channel, anything that reinforces your social anxiety that says you're a loser, you're always going to be a loser, and here's why we all need to hang out and be losers together. That is probably the worst thing that you could do with your time. It's not a good use of a man's time. I've talked often on my channel about anchors and sails. You know, obviously a sail will fill with wind and take your boat to the next port of call, sort of thing, you know, the next passage. And an anchor is designed to hold you back. Anything that reinforces your social anxiety, that negative belief that you have in yourself, is something that you need to walk away from. So again, the first step is get away from anything that reinforces that you're a loser. Loser talk wants more loser talk. You know, it's a reason why they say misery loves company, right? It's so true. I'm on the freeway right now. If there was an accident, and even if it was set off, you know, to the side of the road in a safe manner where it's not blocking any traffic whatsoever, I guarantee everybody on the highway would slow right down to a crawl, to a snail's pace, because they want to see what's going on, right? They got a rubberneck to check it out. That's how human beings are. We're hardwired to behave in that way. I think it's probably part of the lizard brains, you know, part of that primitive hardwiring that we have. Maybe it's like a protective mechanism, but a lot of it is manufactured in our own heads. We like to create these narratives, you know, these belief systems, these stories in our heads that we subscribe to, like I can't get a girl because I'm not tall enough, or my skin's the wrong color, or insert whatever, you know, reason, you know, there happens to be there. I'm going to put a card up on the top right on the screen. There's a really interesting dude that I had interviewed a couple years ago. He died shortly after the interview in an accident, but his name was Sean Stevenson. He was about 3 foot tall. He was a very, very successful speaker. They would book him at $20,000, you know, for a speaking engagement. He would charge $10,000 a day to do any kind of clinical work on somebody in his practice. And he had this degenerative bone disease. Basically, he would sneeze and, you know, he would shatter bones all the time. He managed to marry a beautiful woman, make loads of bank. Even the doctor said that he wasn't supposed to live more than a week. And he lived past the age of 40, I believe, before he had his accident and died. So you should check out that card on that interview that I did with him. It's a shame that he passed because he was such a interesting and inspiring figure. So if you ever think to yourself, well, I can't do something because of insert reason, I'd invite you to go watch that video. Even Sean Stevenson's YouTube channel is still out there. Go look up his dance party. I'll put up a card for that. It'll definitely cheer you up. But this video really isn't about cheering up. It's about modifying your mindset and your belief system and understanding that you can do better. There's so much that we as men limit ourselves to because of our belief system. I always tell you guys, whenever, you know, especially when I'm on consults and one-on-one private calls, I can always tell what somebody's belief system looks like. You know, this is the hardwiring, the firmware that we operate to make our gut decisions and we operate our mind with, because you look at results come from choices, and choices come from belief systems. So all you really have to do is follow that flow down to the belief system, rewire it to believe that something new that serves you is a better thing to work with, and then you go and start making choices that are aligned with better beliefs to get the better results that you're looking for. Anxiety isn't something that you should really suffer with. I mean, dude, I suffer with it. You know, like when I was a kid, scars on my arms, like my parents were ready to take me to the Sick Kids Hospital, downtown Toronto, to go and get reconstructive surgery to my scars because they thought that I had so much anxiety around the issue. The problem wasn't with my scars. The problem was with me, believing that this is what was holding me back. And a weird thing happened, you know, like a switch flipped in my head when they took me for a tour and they sat me down with the surgeon and we did the interview on, you know, what to expect and what kind of results and how much pain you'd be in and the recovery and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And at some point with all of that, I realized that the problem wasn't with the world. I was taking a look at a lot of the guys in, you know, the ward, like a lot of the other kids that were in there, the boys and girls, and I realized the problem was with me. And that's when I really started to double down and understand that you can do a hell of a lot more in your life and achieve more and have a better experience as a guy by believing things that serve you, right? I mean, it's kind of hokey pokey in some ways, and some guys will make fun of it, but the law of expectations, you know, that old movie from back in the day, I think it was 20 years ago, The Secret, you know, basic things like having better expectations for yourself, you know, as dorky as it might sound, actually works. You know, believing that you know, actually having some dignity for yourself. Like when I'm talking to guys about stuff around women, especially, it's like, all you have to do is set some boundaries and have some, you know, specific expectations for yourself and any kind of interaction. And if somebody crosses that line, right, if she's going to cross that line, that bottom line for you, then there's consequences to that and you execute on it. So I don't know, guys. I get it, but at the same time, I don't want guys to suffer and I don't want guys to sulk over it. The best thing you can do, the very first thing that I think that you should do, is stop consuming anything that reinforces the anxiety you have over insert whatever it is. Doesn't matter if it's making money, you know, fixing your body, you know, making muscles, or learning about women in the sexual marketplace. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're gonna hang around with 5 broke, dumb losers that are nothing but sulking and complaining endlessly on blogs, on Reddits, on YouTube, then you're in the wrong room. That is a bad place to start. I always tell guys, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Get in a better room. And while that might sound simple, it really is. You know, it's really about setting boundaries and enforcing them. And when you start getting good at that, you're going to start having better experiences in life. So start surrounding yourself with better people. Put yourself in better rooms. Consume content that reinforces goals that you want to achieve. Be careful with it because there's a lot of shills out there, but the very first thing is stop consuming shit that reinforces the anxious behavior that you have. Get away from it and start updating your beliefs and having expectations for yourself that are fully aligned with the results you want to get out of life. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up on that note. I'm sure some of you might have some better resources like books or maybe even a YouTube channel. Comment below if there's something that's helped you out with anxiety. Also, pinned in the top comment, there's a link to my book, The Unplugged Alpha. If you haven't read it, it's a great short read. Check it out. It's on Amazon now in Kindle, print, and Audible. I narrated it myself. There's lots of other useful links pinned in the top comment for things like coaching for one-on-one consults, or if you want to join a men's community, you can learn more about all that stuff over there. Go check it out. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace out. We'll see you in the next video.